Should I not be moving so much because I'm nervous? Hi guys! I have a couple of questions from our subscribers because I don't want to just be posting videos on recipes and recipes. Of course, if you want me to post more, just let me know in the subscription punya group chat. Because so far I have posted a bunch of videos step by steps and the cream and about fondant, but right now I need more ideas from you guys to know like what else to record on. So I asked one of the subscriber and she responded the kind of videos that she would expect to watch. So over here she was asking the first one, there's a couple, so maybe I'll break it down, and after this if you guys want more detail I can do more detailed video specifically on that particular topic. So the first one is oven settings. The second one, she was asking about the oven options to buy. Let's just talk about the oven first. For commercial use, if you bake really a lot and to save your electricity and everything, I would think that Berjaya is a good brand. It's a local Malaysian brand. It doesn't have many tiers. The one that I'm referring to is mainly for cakes, but for cookies, I know they have several tiered racks in the oven. But for cakes, usually I see that there's only one flat base. So I feel like if it's just one tier, it's easy to put all of the cake pans and it will bake evenly. So sometimes the only thing that we do is after halfway baking, we won't take out the tray of the cakes completely out of the oven. We just open like enough so that you can turn the tray over, then it will bake even more evenly. You know, the left and right sometimes it can be a little bit lopsided or anything. But for some people who have oven at home, the kind that is built in, they have the fan setting and the one that is not. Some bakers out there prefer the fan setting. They say it would regulate the temperature in there, but I feel like your oven, if you don't really clean it well, the built-in, you know, like sometimes maybe some oil spills, so the oven heats up really fast and everything that you bake will become overbaked. This is an example of a built-in oven. So we put numbers so that my staff can read better. So that is to show the setting top and bottom heat. So for example, if a recipe calls for 180 degrees, for built-in oven, I would recommend you to bring it down to 160. So I think it's better for it to bake slow, but for a longer time, then it will rise evenly. To know some signs of oven that is too hot, the cakes will bake like a dome, so it will just rise in the middle. So it doesn't look very nice because when you want to trim one cake into 2 layers, it would be better if the cake is like even layer, obviously. So I would prefer to have it lower setting. Same goes for brownies, I think. To get like all the wrinkles, the nice shiny wrinkles on the surface of the brownies, it's also better to bake at lower temperature but longer time. And for brownies, if you want it to be like fudgy, when you poke a toothpick in the center, it shouldn't come out like cake. Cake, there are no wet batter. So for brownies, yeah, you shouldn't have no wet batter, but you should have at least wet crumbs. Wet crumbs is fine. It doesn't have to come off really clean because brownies is supposed to be like with a fudgy, chocolatey center. So it is a little bit wetter than a normal cake. If you want it completely dry, then your brownies might taste like cake. If you like it that way, then sure, but some people who like it fudgy, then it can come out a little bit wet. So to sum up, oven options to buy, I would suggest Berjaya. I don't really dare to recommend any others, but you can read on reviews on commercial ovens that are best selling in Malaysia. And I think I'm pretty clear about the oven settings because I do get a lot of questions from students regarding that. The next topic would be, I think this should be a topic on its own, but roughly if I want to just talk about it, a lot of you ask how to price cakes. I mean, no offense to any bakers out there if any of the things I say might offend you or anything, but you need to basically value yourself. A lot of bakers, home bakers, they feel like they just started a business, they don't dare to quote the cakes high, so they will just charge low and charge their labor very little and might not consider the cost of overhead that much. But you need to take account of everything. Even you replying messages, your internet bill, it's inclusive. If you're replying a lot, I would say it's inclusive because it is part of the job. So maybe add 1 or 2 ringgit for every cake for that, for your time to reply messages, for your customer service basically. And there's a lot of things that you might not think matters. For example, your dish soap. I know like I might sound calculative, but it's true. You still spend money, at least like 5 ringgit a tub. It still matters. At 30 cents or a couple of cents, you know, for this and for your petrol to get the items. The time it takes for you to pack the boxes, cellophane tape, everything. Just list out the whole basic of what you need for every cake. Even sometimes customer requests for wish card and you have to print it out. All of that little thing matters, I feel. So a lot of home bakers always feel like they're scared to charge high because they're scared that no customers will buy. I mean, it's okay to start it off like that. Like maybe give yourself like an overall layout throughout the year. Maybe the first 2 months you want to consider on advertising and marketing and research and development. So you might not care that you don't earn so much because you know that that's what you need to take out as like a startup thing to do. But just remember, the longer you're quoting the customer's cheap price, the word will start to spread as you're charging it cheap. You know, your friends might say, oh, I ordered from this friend and she only quoted me this much for this item. So the word will spread that your cakes are cheap, and I would say that it will be quite difficult for you to slowly climb back up and start to price your cakes high because your customer base will just be in that range. So you need to really think well. But back to the main question, which is how to price your cakes. So I have a chart which I can show you in a while over here. This is just rough guidance. A lot of other bakers might use different methods to count, but just remember you need to consider how many percentage of profit margin you would want to make. Some people are okay with 30%, some want to make more, 40%. So in our chart, we would always specify based on the cake size, weight of the cake, and the weight depends on either sponge cake or premium cake, butter cake. It is different because sponge cake, even though we pour the same amount of batter in the same size of pan, sponge cake is very light. So we have a separate chart just for sponge cake and another chart just for butter based cake. So besides the size and the weight, you need to also consider, is it fondant, buttercream or royal icing? So there's a lot of categories that goes under it. So you want to start off with having the base of everything. Base of your overhead, base of your cake sizes, base of your exterior stuff, which would be the boxes and the cake toppers and candles. It could be firework candles, it could be numbered candles. So sometimes you need to have all of those in hand because last minute customers might request for this and that. For wedding, you need to get like a special wedding knife and that would cost more. So you might need to allocate like a different category for weddings also. In the end, once you have all of the categories laid out, well, you for every cake orders, customers, you just look at what they're requesting and you look at, okay, how much is this, how much is that, how much is this and that, and total up and just plus with a 40% profit. Or you can also survey market out there. So if you know your competitors out there are fondant cake bakers, because some bakers out there do just fondant cake, they don't want to touch buttercream, or the other way around. So you have to survey, probably you ask some of your relatives, or if you have like a different phone number, you can just ask them for quotation. Okay, how much would this cake cost? How much would this cake cost? And a lot of bakers out there do have websites, so you don't even have to ask. It's already stated there, like 5-inch chocolate cake is this much, or upgraded flavor, black forest or salted caramel, they would add additional 20 ringgit, additional 30 ringgit. Of course it's much easier if you have a website, but for you, if you just started, I think you need to have all of this base calculation in your mind. Then it's easier for you to quote the price. So for us, I have uploaded highlights on Instagram. You know, the round icons on your Instagram page? We have made catalogs. Or even in WhatsApp, if you download WhatsApp Business, it has a lot more features for business owners out there. You can upload your catalog, so you can just forward to customers the catalog. Okay, I'm gonna show you right here the example that I have in my highlights. It's just the layout is a bit different, because Instagram layout is portrait, and for YouTube, if I want to upload a long video that is easy for everybody to watch, it has to be landscape version. So I hope you can see this in detail. For example, over here. Over here, I've screen recorded my phone. So you see on the top right, there's like a little card button. I'm going to press it right now. So here is a sample of a catalog that you can upload if you have WhatsApp Business. So it's very easy for customers to add to cart. And over here, I'm showing you the round icons, which is called highlights on Instagram. It's all the circle pictures. I have uploaded a lot, but our catalogs are the ones that have this logo. Front page will explain a little bit about the cakes, about the layers, and here are all pre-designed cakes. So that means last minute customers, if they want to get a cake, they can just choose from here. It's with the prices. All in all, just remember that the cakes that are usually priced higher than usual is based on the whether or not you're a home-based baker or you are renting a shop in like Bangsa. So obviously the cakes are much higher because you have to pay the rent there. But for home-based baker, it will be cheap because you don't have to pay that much, you know, for your house, because you have to consider it's inclusive for your own personal use. So that one you have to learn to identify what is for personal, what is for business, your operating hours. Even if you're at home, you have to have a system. That's gonna be difficult for me to edit, but I'm gonna try my best, you guys. It's actually my first time. It's actually my first time recording a face-to-face video like this. So let me know if you guys are okay, and if there are any comments I should improve on, like should I not be moving so much because I'm nervous. But of course there are so many other topics. I think all these other topics, which I'm gonna list out right here right now. The girl was asking how to work on fondant. That's another whole elaboration that I have to explain about fondant and its humidity and whatever that's affecting it. So I can make another video if you like this kind of video, the Q&A. Or the next question is how to stack wedding cake for outdoor. Yeah, especially in Malaysia, you know, we have a really hot and humid weather. What type of cream is suitable? So that would be in the next video. The third one is how to airbrush on cakes. That's already in decorating category, which is a lot. There's so many type of decorations you can do out there, so many tools that you can use. We'll get into that. And another question is how to work on the edible image. To those who want to cut their work in half, probably, you know what edible images are. So, of course, there's also another topic. How to work on cookies, how to work on gum paste, if you've heard of it. In this Q&A, I'm sure the viewers are in many categories. They could be in beginner level, advanced, intermediate. So I'm not sure like which ones are you at now. So I'm just gonna make this video quite all-rounder topic. So if you want to ask further questions, perhaps I can just make video for advanced level. You know, when you're ready and you've upgraded yourself, you can watch that video. Just don't overwhelm yourself with all of this information. Just remember, I'd like to talk about how I started. I took TESOL, if you've heard of Teaching English as Second Language. So my background is actually, I wanted to be a teacher, to teach English in primary, secondary school. But towards the end of my study, I was selling cupcakes to my classmates. I don't know, I was just starting it as a hobby. I was working part-timer with another baker as an intern, just because I wanted to kill time, because sometimes classes, they have like 6 to 8 hour gap and I don't know what to do, and I don't want to go back home and come back to college and go back home and come back to college. So I just went to somewhere nearby, work at a bakery and come back. So I started to learn from there. At first it's just making cakes and making the creams. After that, the baker trusted me more to handle buttercream stacking cakes, and then slowly on fondant. So I think I was working there for only 6 months, and that's it. So if you ask what's my background, in case I've talked about like probably wrong things, or I might not be theoretically correct, or use the correct baking terms and everything, it's because that's my only base knowledge. I was doing my internship with a baker for 6 months. So the rest of that, I think it was just learning from YouTube, learning from my own mistakes, learning from lots of time-lapse videos that a lot of bakers are posting now. So I think that's why I started posting, you know, my little segment on Instagram called Tips for Bakers. I just want to share everything that I know with all of you guys, the ones who just started, and yeah, hopefully you feel motivated and inspired to keep continuing what you're doing. I'll see you guys again in the next video. Bye!